Michael B. Jordan is doing another Marvel movie. It's not the one you think. It's Black Panther?
Yeah.
What the heck is going on here?
Well, he's reportedly been cast in Marvel's upcoming Black Panther movie. Now, of course, we saw him in Creed, we saw him in Chronicle, but we also saw him in Fantastic Four, and we should explain to folks that Fantastic Four, like the X-Men, the movie rights are owned by 20th Century Fox, so they're not MCU. So in a way, it's kind of jumping ship.
Yes. Chris Evans also did this. He was the Human Torch in Fantastic Four. Then came over as now Captain America, doing a great job as Captain America.
It's like an animal rescue shelter for Fantastic Four actors. Do you
just
feel
for Human Torches.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess
Come on over.
That's like the role in Hollywood you should get now. It's like your stepping stone, right?
Exactly.
Do Fantastic Four, and then you'll get into a great movie franchise at Marvel. So this is really weird. I'm not really sure what to think about this. But I know I like Michael Jordan. I thought he was great in Creed. I should say Michael B. Jordan. B. Jordan.
Yes.
It sounds funny to say Michael Jordan.
Yeah. This ain't a Space Jam sequel we're going here.
Hey, he could be in that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why. So I think just the thing that I'm kind of wondering about now is, because he was in Fantastic Four and now he's in the MCU, what about Fantastic Four 2?
Well, look, Fantastic Four 2 has always been a big question mark. Ever since the original movie from just last year came out, tanked commercially and critically. Its own director, infamously threw it under the bus. Opening weekend. So I think, the fact that Fantastic Four 2 had already had its release date kind of taken off the schedule by Fox, but producer Simon Kinberg has just today was saying how he really wants to do a sequel to Fantastic Four that would be brighter and more like brighter in tone and more like the comic book, and with the original cast, which would include Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch. This clearly throws some water on that, and I think that it was always a long shot that we would get a sequel to Fantastic Four. The movie just simply, there's no appetite for it, and a lot of fans were like, oh, maybe they'll just give the rights back to Marvel. I think what this means is, Michael B. Jordan, I don't know what his contract is like, how ironclad it is that he would have to come back and do a sequel. I'm sure there's some wiggle room there now. But if you recast again, sort of like the way Marvel did with Hulk, Ang Lee's Hulk, and then Incredible Hulk, and then you get to Ruffalo, but do a more kind of comic booky, fun version of Fantastic Four. Give that a shot, different cast or not, but give it one more try, and then if they can't make that work, then maybe they could give the rights back to Marvel.
Or do a Spider-Man deal.
Yeah.
Where they share him.
Yeah, I think I'm sure somewhere at Fox somebody has talked about that, but there's really no love lost between Fox and Marvel from what we've heard from pretty much everyone. So I think they probably want to give it one more shot on their own before they go that route and try and give it back to Marvel. Now, Michael B. Jordan doesn't need to do a Fantastic Four sequel unless, again, he's got some ironclad contract and,
Yeah. Has this ever happened before, where someone's done two different franchises like this?
Yeah, no, it's happened.
Simultaneously.
It's happened before, but it's also just for him, he's got his career back on track pretty quickly after the debacle of Fantastic Four, and he doesn't need that franchise. That franchise would need him at this point.
Yeah.
Coming off of Creed and everything. So unless again it's going to turn into some contractual hardball thing where no, you're showing up, because you can help solve this movie now. I think he's probably jumped ship at a good point in time.
Yeah. So, that's all the studio politics and stuff like that, and the superhero politics. But let's talk about the actual role we think he could play in the movie. The rumor is that it could possibly be a villain.
Yeah.
So, who are we thinking he could be playing? And do you think he would be a good fit for a villain role?
He's a fine actor. I think he'd be great. The go-to kind of guess right now that everyone has is Eric Killmonger, who's Wakandan name I cannot. I'm not going to try to say, but basically Killmonger is sort of like is sort of like Black Panther's Khan. the villain who was exiled and now comes back looking for revenge. And I think that makes it a really kind of cool, organic way to kind of fit in to the story, keep it in Wakanda, and just sort of like have the past come back to haunt T'Challa. And this week we also found out that Lupita Nyong'o, Oscar winner for 12 Years a Slave, and of course Maz Kanata in the Star Wars movies now, she could possibly also be in the movie. And our guess is maybe she's a member of like the Dora Milaje, the all-female bodyguard of T'Challa's, and again, it would just really organically kind of give everyone a reason for being in that movie and give them something to do. And so I think he's probably Killmonger. Killmonger is also tied to Claw.
Yeah, like Claw was the one who recruited him to sort of try and take over Wakanda in the comic books. Him and his family, and they killed his father, and then they exiled Killmonger.
Yeah,
and then he came back. So maybe that'll be something that like T'Chaka did when he was king, and then now that Black Panther is king after the events of Captain America: Civil War. Spoiler. Sorry.
Boom.
He'll come back and have to like deal with his father's legacy or something like that.
And we are, in case you guys forgot, Andy Serkis already played Claw in Avengers: Age of Ultron, so he's been set up there. It just makes sense all around.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
For Black Panther to be the son of a king and have to deal with running Wakanda, and then have to be Killmonger's father was killed and him coming back, and these two kind of young guys who are very athletic, obviously
daddy
Creed,
issues.
Who can do a bunch of. He looks good fighting on camera, so I think it'd be great to see them go at it.
You mentioned Creed, and it should be noted that this would reunite him again with director Ryan Coogler, who is doing Black Panther, but he also did Fruitvale Station, the movie that really put Michael B. Jordan on the map, and he directed Creed, which reinvigorated the Rocky franchise and made it the Creed franchise now with Michael B. Jordan starring. So it's he is obviously, Jordan is obviously a guy loyal to his director. He did Fantastic Four because Chronicle director Josh Trank did it. So I think it's nice that he's showing loyalty to the artists who helped basically give him a career.
Yeah, for sure. He's sticking with him. So those are our thoughts on Michael B. Jordan reportedly being cast in the Black Panther movie. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and for all things Marvel and Black Panther, keep it here on IGN.